This is Joe Henry, and if you can hear my voice, then you are still among the living, still tuned in, and still waiting for an answer that I am not sure I have the capacity to give. It is 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a Tuesday that started like any other, but as I look out the reinforced glass of this studio window, the sky I see is not the sky I woke up to. It is gone. The blue has been replaced by a slate gray polished surface so vast it defies the curvature of the earth. They are here. We spent decades looking at the stars, sending out gold-plated records and radio pings into the vacuum, wondering if we were alone. We have our answer now, and God help us, I think I preferred the loneliness. Reports began flooding the wire about 6 hours ago. It started in the east, Tokyo, Beijing, then Moscow. The reports were frantic, disjointed, full of terrors we usually reserve for the cinema. But then the images started coming through before the satellites began to drop. These aren't ships in the way we imagine them. There are no flickering lights, no visible engines, no portholes. They are disks, massive and indifferent, carved from a metal that seems to swallow the very light around it. They are positioned over every major capital city on this planet. They aren't attacking, they aren't communicating. They are simply existing, hovering exactly 3,000 feet above our heads, as still as grave markers. Here in the city, the silence is the loudest thing I've ever heard. You can hear the hum of the city's heartbeat normally, the sirens, the honking, the distant roar of the interstate. But right now, if I step away from this microphone, I can hear the sound of the world holding its breath. People have abandoned their cars in the middle of the street. I can see a yellow taxi cab down on the corner of 5th and Main, its door wide open, the engine probably still idling, but the driver is nowhere to be seen. Or maybe he's like the rest of them, just standing on the sidewalk with his neck craned back, staring up at that impossible shadow. The power grid is starting to fail. You might have noticed your lights flickering, a low-frequency pulse that makes the filaments in the bulbs whine. Our engineers here say the magnetic field around those disks is doing something to the transformers. It's like they're breathing, and every time they inhale, they take a little more of our electricity with them. We're on the backup generators now, and the fuel won't last forever. I've got enough diesel to keep this signal going for maybe 10-12 hours if the grid stays down. After that, I suppose I'll be sitting here in the dark with the rest of you. I'm looking at the news ticker on my monitor, though the feed is getting grainier by the minute. They're calling it an arrival, a visitation. Some are calling it the second coming, though I don't remember the Bible mentioning 5-mile-wide brushed aluminum saucers. The Pentagon has gone dark. The last official word we got was a recorded loop telling everyone to stay indoors, to remain calm, and to keep their radios tuned to emergency frequencies. Stay calm. It's a funny thing to say when the sun has been blotted out by a machine the size of a mountain range. I wonder what they're doing up there. Are they watching us? Are they scanning our hard drives, reading our books, listening to this very broadcast? I find myself choosing my words carefully, as if I'm being graded by a silent teacher. There's a rumor coming out of London right now. And please understand that nothing is verified anymore, that a squadron of Royal Air Force jets attempted to approach the craft over the Thames. The report says they didn't even get close. Not because they were shot down, but because they simply stopped. Their engines cut out, their electronics fried, and they glided into the water like paper planes. No aggression from the discs, just a total, absolute refusal to be touched. It makes you feel small, doesn't it? We spent 100 years thinking we were the masters of this rock. We split the atom, we paved the wilderness, we put a man on the moon. We thought we were the main characters in the story of the universe. But looking at that thing over the Capitol building right now, I feel like an ant looking at a boot. It's not that the boot hates the ant. The boot doesn't even know the ant is there. It's just heavy. I've got a letter here on my desk, something I was supposed to read for a commercial break before the world ended. It's for a local hardware store advertising a sale on lawnmowers and fertilizer. It seems so absurd now. Who cares about the height of their grass when the sky is falling? I think about the man who wrote this copy, probably sitting in an office yesterday worrying about his mortgage or his daughter's braces. I wonder where he is now. I hope he's with his family. If you're listening, friend, forget the lawn. Just hold on to the people you love. The atmospheric pressure is changing. My ears are popping every few minutes, and there's a smell in the air like ozone or the way the air smells right before a massive thunderstorm. The birds have gone quiet too. Usually you can hear the pigeons on the ledge outside the studio, but they've vanished. Even the animals know that the rules of the world changed at noon today. We're receiving reports of civil unrest in the suburbs. People are panicking, raiding grocery stores, looking for water and batteries. If you can hear me, please don't do that. Don't throw away your humanity because you're afraid. If this is the end, let's go out with some dignity. Let's not spend our last hours fighting over a gallon of milk. There is a strange kind of peace in the realization that we are all in this together. Rich, poor, young, old. It doesn't matter. We are all under the same shadow. The lights just dimmed again. The hum is getting louder. It's a low, vibrating thrum that you feel in your teeth more than you hear in your ears. It's the sound of power. Unimagined, terrifying power. I've lived in this city for 40 years, and I've seen fires, I've seen floods, I've seen the best and worst of us. But I have never seen anything like the stillness that has gripped the world today. It's not the stillness of peace. It's the stillness of a predator waiting for the right moment to strike. Or maybe it's the stillness of a scientist observing a petri dish. I keep thinking about the morning. I had a bagel. I complained about the traffic on the bridge. I was annoyed that my coffee was lukewarm. What I wouldn't give to have those small, petty problems back again. We live our lives in these tiny loops, never looking up, never realizing how fragile the ceiling really is. And now the ceiling has been pulled back, and we're looking at the vast, cold reality of what lies beyond. I'm gonna keep talking as long as the equipment holds out. I don't have much news left to give you. The wires are dead. The internet is a ghost town of 404 errors and frozen video frames. It's just me and you now. I'll tell you what I see. I see the sun trying to peek around the edge of the disk over the harbor, creating a ring of fire that looks like an eclipse that won't end. I see the city lights starting to die out, block by block, as the grid finally gives up the ghost. I see a few brave souls, or maybe they're just foolish ones, sitting on their rooftops with binoculars, waiting for a door to open or a light to flash. But nothing happens. They just hang there, waiting. Maybe they're waiting for us to say something. But what do you say to a god made of chrome? Do you apologize? Do you boast? Do you beg? I think I'll just keep playing the role of the observer. That's what Joe Henry does. I report the world. And today the report is simple. The world we knew is gone. It ended at 12:04 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What comes next isn't up to us anymore. If you have a battery-operated radio, keep it close. Keep the volume low to save the juice. Sit with your family. Tell the stories you've been meaning to tell. We've spent so much time looking at screens. Maybe it's time we looked at each other. The shadow is long, but we are still here. For now, we are still here. The signal is starting to degrade. I can hear the whine of the transmitter struggling against the interference. My name is Joe Henry. I am broadcasting from the heart of a world that is changing into something unrecognizable. The sky is falling, but it hasn't hit us yet. Stay tuned. I'll be here in the dark waiting for the dawn. If the dawn is still coming, stay safe. Stay kind. Good night, or whatever it is we call the time that's left.